This is a T for 2 holder. It is made using the top note die, and it uses a little Velcro dot to hold it together. And inside you can put tea or a note or a gift card. So to get started for this, we're going to be using cherry cobbler cardstock, and all of your measurements are in your PDF. I'm starting with 2 pieces of cherry cobbler cardstock, 4 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I'm scoring at 3/4 and at 1 inch on both pieces. I'm going to take my 2 pieces of cardstock. I'm going to use my top note die on a cutting plate. I'm going to line them up on here, and then I'm going to cover it with a cutting plate and run this whole sandwich through the Big Shot. Once you've run them through the Big Shot, you fold them on your score lines, and you're going to take your Stripes Textured Impressions folder, and you're only going to put the lines on this part of your top note die, not the part that you've scored. So it's pretty simple. You can just line up this score line with the top line here so that you know where your edges are going to be, or you can just fold it in on this score line and then it sits right on top of that embossing folder. You're going to squeeze that together and run that through the Big Shot by using your 2 cutting plates, and you're going to use your multi-purpose platform, and that's going to be open with both tabs 1 and 2 open. Once you have both of those done, you're going to take a piece of sticky strip, and you're going to put the sticky strip along the bottom of that score line on both pieces, because when you put this together, they're going to be attached to each other like this. Next, you're going to take a piece of 2 by 4.5 inch cherry cobbler, and you're going to score this at 2 and 2.5. Once you have this scored, you're going to place it over the scallop tag on your top note die. That's 2 tags, and you're going to put it between 2 cutting plates and run it through the Big Shot. This is the piece that you're going to use for your closure. Now, to make the envelopes in the center, you're going to take a piece of copy paper, and this is 6.5 by 5.5. You're going to score this at 1/2 inch and 3.5 inches. Next, take a roller with Tangerine Tango ink in the cartridge here, and if you're unfamiliar with our cartridges, you just push the cartridge down till it clicks, take off the little top, put your wheel in, and then push the cartridge up to engage it. You're going to start on the piece of paper so that you fully ink your cartridge, and then you're just going to do a random pattern on here just to get some color. Once you've done that, just score on your score lines, and then take just a piece of snail and run it down the edge here, and then close this up. You're then going to take your envelope and fold it in half, and you're going to take your circle punch, and you're just going to punch a little bite out of the top of it. Take the sticky strip off of both pieces of your top note die, and what you're going to do is you're going to line up the edge of this with your score line here, making sure that you're even on both sides, and then adhere it to the sticky strip. To put the second one on, I line up the corners, the points of my top note die, and then stick it down to make sure that it's going to look uniform on the outside. So this is what it looks like. It's attached at the bottom. Your envelopes are squashed in between these 2 panels, and now you're going to work on your closure. Your scallop tag has 2 pieces of sticky strip on the inside, and now you're going to just line up the point here in the center and then let it stick. And then you're going to use 1/2 of a Velcro dot. So just take your craft and rubber scissors, cut this in half, and I am going to peel the backing off of this, and I'm going to line it up here before I take this backing off, so that I'm sure that these 2 pieces match up together. And then you're just going to find just the right spot and then just push down to close. Now, if you find that this is a little too sticky, you can just trim away some of those fibers with your craft and rubber scissor, which makes it just a little bit less sticky. Now, to decorate the outside of this, we're going to take our Blossom Punch, Tangerine Tango ink, and one of the flowers from the Mixed Bunch stamp set. And we're going to just ink this up in Tangerine Tango and stamp it on white cardstock. You're going to stamp 2 identical flowers, and then you're going to line this up on here and just pop those flowers out. Once you have your 2 flowers punched, you're going to take your bone folder and you're just going to curl those edges under. You're going to just offset them and layer them on top of each other and just put them, actually I'm just going to adhere them with some snail. You can use a glue dot if you'd like. Now you're going to take your scallop round circle punch and punch a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock. And then you're going to layer that on top. You're going to use your little flower punch to punch out 1 little flower, and then you're going to take your mat, and I want you to just push down in the center of that, which kind of just makes a little indentation, and just place a pearl right in the center there. I put a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals on the back just to give it that raised look, and I'm going to push that onto my closure. To finish this off, I stamped T for 2 in cherry cobbler and used my large oval to pop it out. We decorated with our little flower and some baker's twine, and when you open it up, you just put a couple of tea bags, or as I said, you could do a note in here or a gift card, whatever, and there you have a great little T for 2 holder. I hope you enjoyed this module. If you have any questions, you can always reach the designers at mail@stampacademy.com.